find a lot in common with Hamlet, and I hesitate to say it was easy to get into it, but I found those connections, and it's not like I'm a 21-year-old attempting to play Henry V. He's potentially, he's a student, and that was the concept that Doherty had, and I just thought about myself, my experiences, and just how much of that I could really bring even into the audition process.
If I wanted to have a very mature Hamlet, I would not have necessarily cast him in it. I wanted to have a youngish Hamlet. I wanted to have a Hamlet that's very much a college-age kid.
I feel like it's my skin now, and that's kind of like what my process is like. Even physically, once you're in that character's skin, then you're really starting to think like the character and stuff.
Mom! Almost wicked speed to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. I'll observe his looks, I'll tend him to the quick, and he might blanch. I'll know my course.
Because so much of it is always inside of us that it really is a delight to speak words like that are so beautifully articulated, that really address what's going on inside.
Where be your jibes now? Your songs, your gambles, your flashes of merriment and wit, that were wont to set the table on roar. What base uses we may return to.
What I wanted was Julian to find the Hamlet that's in him, that's a college kid, that would be a Hamlet that this audience, this Franciscan University audience, would be able to identify with, the angst of that.
Before the play started, I'd always just try and have time to myself where I could listen to various pieces of music that emotionally triggered things inside of me.
Treachery! Seek it out, that the doors be locked! Now he's praying. And now I'll do it. And so he goes to heaven, a king of shreds and patches. Save me! Cover me with your wings, you empty tongues. What would your gracious figure?
My grandmother, who passed away a couple of years ago, was a huge influencing factor in all of this, and a lot of the feelings that I had when she passed away, and how I felt about my family afterwards, and what my family became afterwards. It was just a huge influence, because you look at one picture, or in my case, I've listened to her favorite Spanish song, which was always about returning home. She had escaped from Cuba with her family.
Did I know that Julian had his own personal angst, maybe within his family? I'd heard little bits of things, so I thought Julian's probably going to be able to relate to this.
A lot of craziness really is just anger with a smile on your face. So, to have that adrenaline pumping inside of me was always a good fueling factor for the madness.
So he found the Hamlet that was in him at this age, and I think he played it.
He really brought the audience into his mind as Hamlet on stage, and there are many times where just watching Julian, like, he would be going over his lines and he'd do something and then stop and then like try it a different way and stop, and then just repetition until he really got the emotion that he was trying to portray in the different scenes.
Anything, any song, any video, any memory that could help me would just, I would try and access that, and just that whenever I walked on stage, it would just be honest.
Freshman year, I had a great time at Franciscan. I loved it, but a part of me was really feeling like I just needed to go back home. And so while I'm contemplating, do I stay? Do I go back home? Go back to school in Indiana? That was when I was working on Hamlet. I was doing the sound. I was the soundboard operator.
Black light, take it out. Light Q8, go.
We had that Sunday matinee performance.
Oh my God. Yes. that was interesting.
Where just everything was going wrong, but somehow it was completely right at the same time. Me and Victoria, the stage manager, and Mary Ellen and Peter, and just watching the entire show, we're all on edge and is Mary gonna make these cues? She's really sick, and what's gonna happen?
So, Dave DeAndrea, he picked up, in my opinion, he picked up the most of the slack. He really did. There were entire scenes where Mary was supposed to be on, but because she couldn't go on, Dave was picking up the lines back and forth.
And there's this moment where she's supposed to come out and announce the death of Ophelia.
The drowning scene came up. I remember I ran around the back and I came up this way, and I'm walking up through the doors to the house.
Victoria's got the headset on, is she coming? Is she coming? And nobody really knows. And then it's like, oh no, I don't think she's gonna be able to make it.
And I see Gabe, he's standing on the steps, and I'm like, okay, what are they doing? And they said all they're gonna do, I was asking Bridget, and she's like, they're just gonna say Ophelia died, and then they're just gonna go to blackout.
And so, Mary Ellen's ready for the blackout.
When Gabe was about to go up and he was just gonna announce it, I just kind of put my hand on his shoulder, and I was like, no, I got this.
We're watching, and just Dave Belkowski walks onto the stage as Horatio, completely composed, and he does this huge monologue for her. Obviously it's not word for word, but he said it so eloquently.
I actually have no idea what I was gonna say. I was just like, okay. And I walked down, and I remember seeing Dave's face, and he's just like, what ho, Horatio? Kind of half in shock.
And it was such a beautiful moment, completely sporadic, didn't know that it was gonna happen at all. And I just was watching it, and I just started crying, and I looked over at Peter and Mary Ellen, and I was like, I know I have to stay here. I have to stay at this school. It's not enough just to be a drama major. I have to be a drama major here, in this program, with these people. And here I am.
Only one more left.
I'm really not looking forward to tomorrow at all.
Sad, but it's almost a relief in a weird sense.
Electric places, please. Hello.
Yeah, dude, oh my god, last performance, just gotta go out there and give it everything you got. I don't even know if that's happening, but everybody's going nuts, everybody's going crazy. It's gotta be the best it's gonna be.
When the inevitable end, is coming. But I think that'll serve me well in Act 5, because that's what Hamlet is going through. He kind of knows he's going to die today. He has a weird feeling, so I think that might help tonight, because it's going to be real.
My favorite movie is Mean Streets, one of Martin Scorsese's first films, and there's a scene in that movie that I really think to when I think of this scene during the funeral between Harvey Keitel and Robert De Niro. And then I know Julian's thinking about Mystic River when he does it, so it's just a lot of history of acting going into it. It's really beautiful.
I knew that the second I got back on stage, it was a race to the end, and I wasn't going to get off that stage until I died. So it was exciting and nerve-wracking, but the the action is so great there at the end. You know, starting from the funeral scene, you just know this is not going to just be going on for hours and hours. Like something's going to happen here, and you know that the second that the confrontations start happening at the funeral scene.
Sweets to the sweet. Farewell. I hoped thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bride had true death, sweet maid, not have strewed thy grave.
Trouble, woe! Fall 10 times, trouble on that cursed head, whose wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprived thee of. Oh, hold off the earth a while, till I have caught her once more in mine arms. Now pile your dust upon the quick and dead. To love this rotten mountain of me. To poor old Pelion, the stylish head of blue Olympus.
What is he? Whose grief bears such an emphasis? Whose praise of sorrow conjures the wandering stars and makes them stand like wonder-wounded hearers? This is I! Hamlet the King!
The devil take thy soul!
The priest not well I prithee take thy fingers from my throat, for though I am not splendid and rash, I have something in me at which let the blood let thy wiseness fear. Away thy head!
Hamlet!
Come on, hold me quiet! I loved Ophelia! 40,000 brothers, not with all their quantity of love make up my sum. What wilt thou do for her?
He's bad, Laertes.
Oh, God, prevent him!
Show me what thou wilt do! Would we fight with tear thyself, drink up, easel, eat a crocodile? I'll do it! I'll play it as well as thou.
All the stakes have just gotten so high. It's not just, I'm spying on you, I'm spying on you. Oh, you're crazy. No, you're crazy. Things are getting so serious. And I was really excited for those last few scenes because, like I said, not only did I have time to just kind of take a break and listen to some music and prepare for that, but the energy was just so contagious and everyone could feel it. Everyone knew this is the end.
There's special providence in the fall of the sparrow. If it be now, then it will not come. If it will not come, then it will be now. If it be not now, then it will come. The readiness is all.
And by the time we were getting to the end, I was backing off and letting Julian go where Julian wants to go.
Will this brother's wager frankly play? Come, give us the boils.
One for me.
I'll be your foil, Laertes. You mind if your skill shall like a star in the darkest nights, stick fiery up in me.
You mock me, sir.
No, by the same.
Come, young Osher, give them the foils. Listen, Hamlet, you know the wager?
Very well, my lord. You have laid the odds on the weaker side.
No, I do not fear it. I've seen you both, but since he's better, we have therefore odds.
This is too heavy. Let me see another.
This likes me well. The boils all have mine.
I know good boy.
Bring me the stoup of wine. If Hamlet, give the first or second hint, or quit in answer of the third exchange, the king shall drink to Hamlet's better breath. And in the cup and union he shall throw, richer than that which 4 ancessive kings in Denmark's crown have worn. Come begin, and you the judges bear a wary eye.
Come, sir.
Come, my lord.
What? No. Judgment.
It's very comfortable.
Well, again.
Stay. Give me drink. Hamlet, this pearl is thine. Here's to thy health. Give him the cup.
Set it by a while. I'll play this back first. Come, sir. Another hit, let's see.
A touch, I do confess.
Our son shall win.
He's hot and scarce of breath. Here, Hamlet. Take my napkin. Wipe thy brows. The queen carouses to your fortunes, Hamlet.
Many thanks, madam.
For Gertrude, do not drink.
I will, my lord. I pray you pardon me.
It is the poison cup. It is too late. I shall not drink yet out of my eye.
Come. Let me wipe thy brows.
And this is the moment where we can confront each other. So always excited for that. And the physicality just helps so much to communicate what's going on there.
Almighties, you do but dally. I pray you pass with your best violence. I fear you make a wanton of me.
Say you so. Come on.
Nothing, neither way.
I'll let you now!
Nay, come again!
What the mission?
Look to the queen there.
Complete on both sides. How is my lord?
How is it, Laertes?
Why is the woodcock to mine own spring? Osric, I am justly killed with mine own treachery.
How does the queen?
She swoons to see them bleed.
No, the drink. The drink. Oh, my dear Hamlet. The drink. The drink. I am poisoned.
Treachery! Seek it out! Let all the doors be locked!
It is here, Hamlet!
And those are all things that were wonderful surprises, because I was not expecting. I was afraid from the beginning that this is going to be a boring Shakespeare, we're not going to be able to make it. And even up until opening, I was nervous about it, just because I'm seeing it through all of the rehearsals, and it does take that extra eye to be able to see. So was I aware that, did I feel like that it was a success for me? Yeah. I was pleased with it.
The king! The king's to blame!
The poison venom too. Then venom to thy work. All treason! Treason!
Help me, friends, I'm hurt.
Here, ancestral murderous den in vain. Drink up this potion! Is that union there? Follow my mother.
Such as the poisoning at the end with the king. I feel like there was a certain violence to his reaction to the poison because of the violence of Hamlet's imposition of the poison.
In bed, Horatio. Wretched queen and you. You that look pale. Tremble at this chance. There are but mutes or audience to this act. And with time, as this stout surgeon death is strict in his arrest, I could tell you. Let it be. I die, Horatio. What a wounded name. Things standing thus unknown shall live behind me. If ever thou didst love me, absent thee from felicity a while. And in this harsh world, draw thy breath in pain to tell my story. I die, Horatio. The potent poison cries my spirit. Rest
cracks the noble heart. Good night, sweet prince.
My flights of angels, sing thee to thy rest.
Ham cam. It's time for the ham cam. Come on, Laertes. Thus didst thou. Thus didst thou. Thus didst thou. That's enough for the ham cam today. Ooh, my pretty little girlfriend. Look at that. I love the lipstick. Back to you, Fede.
Hamlet was a great experience. I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better one.
We both played the same role in Hamlet too.
I had a different role.
No, you didn't.
You
were gentlewoman number 1.
Oh man, this is our Hamlet. It wasn't Professor Doherty's Hamlet. And I think why that is because, you know, you have Julian who is at the helm of this, and he just really brings it together, and you see how people just like hold on to that, and how you all just start connecting, and you start making revelations together, and you just build and work from each other.
I think my favorite moment was when I actually thought there was gonna be people to collect my flowers for me.
I'm like, why aren't there people getting the Fennel and the Columbine?
At rehearsal, like 2 days before performance, we found out that, well, I found out, everyone else knew, that no one was gonna be there when they were collecting flowers. They were actually imaginary people.
Wait,
when are
they coming?
Wait,
my
God! Gonna be.
It was really interesting seeing everything from the crew side and being able to see the levels of production that it takes for just a college main stage. I mean, being a freshman just coming in, it was just amazing to see all the designs coming together and all the collaboration. What we produced with that show was comparable to any city college. You know, anything Pittsburgh, you know, Pitt or whatever could have produced. We absolutely gave them a run for their money with that show.
The experience is something I'll never forget.
I think the thing was that no one put any half-heartedness into this production. Everyone threw themselves into it, even if you were a minor role.
That show, Dave DeAndrea and Dave Belkowski, they became like my heroes.
I think you feel accomplished because you know that the reason why they're giving you a standing ovation is because they felt connected to you.
I feel like there's like a big misconception about drama majors and what we actually do. I feel like a lot of people think, they put on plays and they have so much fun all the time, which is true. We have a lot of fun, but you know, it's like these kind of stories that people don't see all the time, you know, and we are really close. Everyone in the department is really close.
One cast member is throwing up in the back, and another cast member runs on stage knowing her lines and saves like the entire show. I mean, people just don't do that. Like,
I was surprised over and over. Yeah, I was surprised over and over and over again. I was surprised that we were making sense of it. I was surprised that there was clarity, and eventually I was wonderfully surprised with the emotional commitment and the what we were able to get out of the script.
People are going to be hacking away at the world that I've lived in for like 3 months, and
You're going to destroy it like that with a hammer?
I don't know what I'm going to...
and
Because it goes like that, like literally within an hour and a half, it's all gone.
We've worked months on it, and it's gone. It's like end in an hour and a half. What a weird profession we have.
I've never done strike before.
And I just remember walking in and just like seeing most of the stage gone, and it's just kind of the shock. because you just invest so much of yourself. I mean, in every production, it's so bizarre.
Like we had, David Milkowski out there, and he was drilling, and we were hammering and everything, and I'm just like carrying beams out there over and over again, filling up Professor Doherty's pickup truck. It was a great experience though, because I think that was sort of the capper. Like it really put together our entire experience with the show. We were faced with something really difficult and really intense, and probably something that we should have had longer to do. And we all were able to bond over it and work together on it and get it done and do it really well, to a level that anybody should be impressed with what we were able to pull off. And we did that with Strike, and I think it really just sort of highlights everything we did with the show and the production itself.
I kind of forgot who I was, honestly. Saying monologues in the shower, getting ready in the morning, and the words are just, you go to sleep with those words, and that's just, you become that. And even at moments where I was through the semester feeling very similar to what Hamlet may have felt or was feeling, I found myself just wanting to say some of the lines. So, and I would sometimes, like a really rough night, or things just weren't going very well. I just saying those words just to myself in the car or something was the only way I could really get it out. So that was a pretty major change. I don't do that anymore. But throughout that process, whenever I was just walking by myself, they became my words, and they became honest words. I think that's what Doherty was trying to accomplish. Right? Just, they're not lines, it's communication.